Hey guys, Zero here again. I got another kind of unboxing, kind of overview. We're going to be taking a look at the starter set for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. You guys probably know this already. You've seen this 100 times. There's tons of videos out there. I'm not going to do this is an unboxing, but it's also pretty much an overview because I had this box before. I have no idea what I did with it, and I never really got into 5th, but I'm going to try 5th edition now. My son's old enough to play, and you know we're gonna give it a shot. But I'm also going to be opening this box set, which is the Dungeons and Dragons Essentials Kit. So this was released in 2004. This is in 2019, Target exclusive or something like that. They designed it, both these kit. Well, they designed this to get players started in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, get you familiar with the rules and things like that, and character, kind of the basics on character creation. Then you buy the player's handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Monster Manual. You'll go from there. And this was actually designed again for new players to have what you need as a dungeon master to actually create characters and play your game. So we're gonna get this over to the table, get these guys open, and then I'm gonna give you guys obviously my opinion. So stay with me and we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's take a quick look here at the starter set. I'm sure most of you have seen it already if you play D&D or if you're familiar with it. I'm sure you've gone through and torn this open already, but we'll just do it real quick for those who haven't. If you haven't played Dungeons and Dragons and you're thinking about it, especially 5th edition, the new edition, this is probably a good way to start. If you want to do it on the cheap, it's a good way to start. I might even get this in the get started video playlist. But yeah, just a quick history again. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons on and off since 1988, back when it wasn't cool to play. And we played a lot, you know what I mean? My friends and I got together when we were together on the weekends when I was around, not doing other stuff. We'd get together, roll some dice, and have a good time. We'd play till whenever we got tired. So it wasn't like a time limit or anything like it is now. Like when you're an adult, obviously I can't be here till after 10 o'clock. I gotta go. You know what I mean? But as a kid, you teenager, you didn't give a shit. You stayed up till fucking crack of dawn. Excuse my French, but again, this is a good way to start because it's affordable. You can pick this up at Target for like $20, or you can get it like at Amazon for like $15-16 shipped if you have Prime. So that's pretty damn good for this set. I think when I first bought the original one, it was like $25, and I was kind of like, you don't really get enough for $25, in my opinion. But for $15 to $16, you get just enough. So, real quick, let's just show you the back. Okay, I don't know what that is. I think that's an ogre, something. Or a troll. No, that's not troll. It's got to be an ogre or some kind of giant or something. I don't know what that is. It's a new art. It's pretty cool. So you get dice, you get a rule book, you get you get some character sheets, and they show a map, but I don't think you get a map in this. I was going to say that was one of my big things. I was like, no map? Okay. Not that it always has to have a map, but you kind of feel like, well, if you're, getting started, there's some pretty cool metallic blue dice, like pearlescent blue dice. It's pretty cool. Basic dice set. You get your 6 die. You don't get the percentage die. So you get a percentage die. You get the D10, but you don't get the 20. The 20, 30, 40, 60 die. So you'd have to get another die for that. That's kind of not cool. It is what it is. You're getting a free set of dice, which are the basics, and you just have to roll the 10 twice. But it would have been nice to throw in a percentage dice. The Lost Mine of Phandelver. Lost Mine of Phandelver. Alright. So this is a campaign book, I guess. It deals with, if you're not familiar, if you're familiar with D&D, it's the Forgotten Realms. Faerun, Sword Coast. You know, that's what the new 5th edition is focused on, is Sword Coast. But just so you know that the Faerun is huge and there's a ton of world to explore. But basically, you know, like most, there's a map there, so you can redraw that. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. Just to say that it's done pretty well. It's on pretty good printed paper. There's another map. You know, the artwork is pretty good. I mean, I have to say I like the artwork from 3.5. I'm a big fan of the artists that put work into those books. Just the stylization of everything and the definition of dragons' physiology in that was just really good. Most monster physiology was defined in 3.5. And then in this one, the artists refined their styles, you know what I mean, to match. So this is supposed to take you a couple levels. Let's see. Running an adventure. Sorry, give me 1 second. Dungeon Master. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe it says it on the back here. Starter set in your game. Action-packed stories of the imagination. This box contains essential rules of the game, plus everything you need to play heroic characters on a perilous adventure in worlds of fantasy. Okay. It doesn't say what levels, but I'm pretty sure it's like a low-level campaign, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is pre-generated characters. So you have the starter set rulebook, okay, and it is what it is. It says it is what it says. It's basically all the general rules for how to play the game, how to run your characters, how for the GM to run monsters, because there's little sections that say Dungeon Master, and that's for him. You know, there's statistics for weapons, armor, you know, all that stuff. You got spells, you know, and things like that. And now I believe Wizards of the Coast, or Hasbro, whoever owns it now, they have downloadable spell cards and things like that. Like, it's a very interactive community now. There's tons of information out there. There's tons of resources, even fan-based resources that you could utilize to play this game. So if you're ever stuck, you think, man, I don't know where to go from here, check the internet, you know, and you'll find your answers. Well, hopefully you should be able to find your answers there as to, you know, what you may or may not want to add to your campaign. You know, some people play full online campaigns with their friends. You know, they just play over the internet because it's just easier to organize than getting, you know, 4 or 5 guys together in a room, or people, I should say. So then you have your pre-generated characters sheets. There's a bunch of them, actually. I didn't think there was going to be that many. So let's see here. We have a fighter first level. We have a wizard first level. We have a rogue first level. We have a cleric first level. And then a reprint of the fighter first level. I'm assuming that's either, I'm not going to look, but hang on a second. I'll look right now. Yeah, the fighter first level is actually has different stats. Sorry, let me show you guys here. These are the statistics. They have different stats here. So these are obviously 2 different fighters, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool. And then you have a huge, so a majority of this box, this could have been like a pamphlet, because the majority of this box is a cardboard insert to make it look like you obviously have more in here than you do. I haven't played this adventure yet. I'm anxious to run it. Like I said, my son is interested in playing now. My wife said she'd, you know, help with the campaign for him, just to get him understanding in the game. Obviously, he watched Stranger Things, and he thinks it's cool, like everybody else out there who's new to the game. They watch Stranger Things, and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna play D&D. I have some friends out there who are doing that right now, and I just want to say, guys, if you're still playing, good on you. Congratulations. Welcome to Dungeons & Dragons. If you're not playing, stop jumping on the fads. Stop jumping on the fads. Stick to some shit you like and stick to it. That's it. That's all. That's it. So now I'm going to open up the Essentials kit, which I have not seen before. That's this guy here. This was just released. Target exclusive. I want to say Target exclusive, but I don't know if that's 100% accurate. I'm sure there's somewhere you can get it else, like maybe on the internet or something. I'm pretty sure eBay has it. But this set is basically a continuation of that set. Not that you can take your characters from there to here, because this actually promotes and encourages you to create your own characters, not using pre-generated characters. So that's the beauty of this kit. And this kit actually has more involved for the GM. You know, it gives the GM more tools to help him better run his campaign. So now you've got maps of the Sword Coast, you've got maps of a specific town in the Sword Coast, which all this and the Mines of Phandelver take place in. I think that's right. Phandelver? It's Phandelver, I think. Anyway, you get a GM screen, you get another set of dice. Looks like there's more dice there. You obviously get your rule books. Let's crack it open. Let's take a look. It says, hold on, I'll tell you what you get. It says codes to continue your D&D journey and D&D Beyond, the official digital book set for Dungeons and Dragons. So there you go. You can get your books from there. They're like the torn down basic versions of the books, but you can get them nonetheless. Unique discount codes for 50% off the digital version of the player's handbook. There you go. Unique product key. All right, that's dumb. Access to supplementary stuff. Okay. 64-page rule book that teaches you how to create characters of levels 1 through 6 and to play the game. Dragon of Icespire Peak, an introduction adventure. We know that's a white dragon. Double-sided poster map. Oh, that's cool. So it's one map, two sides. 6 blank character sheets. Cool. 11 polyhedral dice. Cool. 81 cards describing magic items, sidekicks, and more. So, if I'm not mistaken, sidekicks are new. So, like if you have a small party, for example, like my wife and my son are going to play, I would give them sidekicks, little cohorts or people that work with them to kind of help buff the group so that they're not below level of challenge. It's from what I understand. I mean, like in 3.5, it was like a challenge rating of a 1 meant that it would take 4 players of level 1 to handle that challenge. Now the math is a little askew, you know, so you know, with only losing a certain percentage of resources through the combat. I don't know if it's still the same. Like I said, I'm going to crack it open, read it, and see how it goes. But yeah, let's get this guy open and take a look. I like that white dragon. I love dragons. I love the Dungeons and Dragons dragons. They're so much more defined now, and so much more characteristic, and they're so much more separated from each other. Yes, they're all dragons, but they're different. You know what I mean? They all have different physiology, different personalities, different not personalities, but behavioral traits. You know, obviously different alignments. You know, so they behave. You know, it's really cool. Let's crack this girl open. Alright. 11 dice. And you get some 6-siders. You get your percentage die. Cool. Wait, is that a percentage die? Yes, you get your percentage die. A little 80 there. You get 11 clear red dice. Now, I'm sure, or I don't know, I know experienced players know this, or might know this. New players might not know this. Some of those dice that you get that are like solid colors, sometimes they're not balanced. There's a test you can do to see if your D20 and your dice are balanced. It's like you pour some salt in a cup of water. I'm not sure the amount. There's a video on it you can check on YouTube. I'll see if I can find it and put the link. But you can test your dice, and according to what they're saying, clear dice have a more accurate dice roll than solid colored dice, because there could be bubbles inside the plastic or the resin or whatever it is they use to make the dice, whereas these you can actually see straight through them, so they're solid, so you're going to get a better percentage of rolling. That's just, you know, a little nerd fact there. But okay, Dragon of Ice Peak Adventure, very cool, very cool. Take a look at this. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. What was that? I know what that is, but I can't remember offhand. again, you know, you got your introduction for the GM. You've got a map for an encounter. Obviously, you know, this is a pretty big book. You've got your stats for your monsters. Probably new spells, and I'm pretty sure they explain cohorts in here. So, and your map keys, that's cool. Map key on the back there, that's pretty cool. You got a bard there. Looks like a wizard, a bard, a dwarf fighter, pulling a halfling, and a cleric. So that's pretty cool artwork. I mean, it's some really nice artwork now, I gotta say. All right, what is this? It's a box. What for, though? Probably for the cards. Yeah. And speaking of that, here they are. So these, oh, cool. Quest cards. So I'm assuming they're like side quests or little adventure plot hooks or things like that. It's very important for for you to put together plot hooks for your players. Also, it's important to know your players a little bit. You know, kind of what motivates them to do, to go out and adventure, and why leave the comfort of town when you can just go out and adventure. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets of magic cards, 9 sheets each. Oh, yeah. So I'm assuming, yeah, this is pretty much potion of healing. You regain 2d4 plus 2 hit points when you drink the potion. The potion's red liquid glimmers when agitated. Okay. Oh, and they're perforated too. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but they're perforated. So it should be easy to fold them and just pop them right out. That's cool. Good on you. Good on you, Wizard of the Coast. And then you have your sidekicks. So you've got 9 sidekicks. Yeah, looks like 9 sidekicks. That's kind of cool. They're each different. They all offer something different to the group. That's interesting. They've got spell effect cards. So, defended, charmed, blinded, incapacitated, grappled, frightened, petrified, paralyzed, invisible. So that's cool. And on the back, just like the others, it explains what they do. Okay, that's pretty cool. Restrained, prone, poisoned, magic charm, unconscious, stunned, and then there's combat cards. So again, they're providing really good quick reference material. Okay, initiative cards. This is kind of cool. I have a board game called Mice and Mystics, that they use cards. You use the player cards as an initiative token. So when the players roll initiative, you put them where they go and you just move them along. That's kind of cool. It's the same premise. So you can basically say, okay, you can hand these cards out, say, hey, your first initiative, second, whatever. That's all right. It makes my shit easier. Although I keep track. I use a laptop and I keep track of that stuff on my laptop. I always keep track of initiative, hit points, and armor class. Because those are the main things that I'm going to be looking for when I'm rolling dice against the players. If I need a saving throw, or a skill check, that's on the player. That's something that's on their character sheet that they should know or should be able to reference right away. Because I don't want to have to write all that stuff down for every player. So, like I said, I just use initiative, armor class, and what is it? Hit points. Initiative, armor class, and hit points. So here we have the map. It's pretty big. It's not huge. Hold on, I'll tell you right now how big it is. That's what she said. I'll measure real quick. we're looking at 21 inches long by 15 inches wide. It's not bad for a map. I mean, that's pretty cool. And there's the town. The town is called Tribor Trail. Oh no, that's to Tribor Trail. What's the town called? Phandalin. Phandalin is the town. And then we have a map of the Sword Coast. And I'm sure, like if you have the D&D books already, you already have this map. If you have a Faerun map, you already have this map. Maybe not in great detail, but you have it. You know, because it comes in the Faerun. It comes with the Faerun campaign book. Okay, and we also have the Essentials Rulebook. I like the dragon there. That's pretty cool. Appendix. All right, so let's take a quick peek at what's inside there. Should be basics on Dungeons and Dragons, how to create your characters. I got some reading to do, stats, probably feats and cantrips and stuff like that. I don't know because I don't know what's in this game and I don't know what's not in this game. Spells, obviously, and then monster stuff. Okay, sorry I went through it real quick. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. If you're looking to get this set, this is also comes with. This is something that again I could go page by page, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that for. Like I said, it's for you guys to discover. I'm just showing you what comes in there so you can see if you like it or not, or if it's something you're interested in doing. And also, per my recommendation, which is not much, I know, but I would recommend starting here, like I said, with those two sets, and you'll probably, if you like it, great, you can move on to the books and everything else. If you don't like it, you only spend maybe a total of $40. That's it. So here, they added, which I thought was super cool, pretty badass. They added a Dungeon Master screen. Okay, and this is all quick reference material for the Dungeon Master while he's playing the game. He's running the game for everybody. He can make his dice rolls back here, without people looking, over the shoulder and stuff like that. And not that it's, don't, as a new player, new players, you have to understand it's not cheating. Okay, the Dungeon Master is not playing against you. This is a cooperative game and a collaborative game, right? So I try to think of it like the Dungeon Master is the director of a movie and you guys are the actors in the movie. He can't make the movie without you and you wouldn't have a movie without him, right? So you're working together to tell a great story, hopefully a great story. So him rolling back here is just for encounters and, reactions from NPCs or monsters or things like that. It's nothing that, unless you have a malicious person looking to get rid of the group, and obviously, that happens. I've had games like that. He's not really out to get you. It's just a matter of there's things he doesn't want you to see because he wants the element of surprise or the element of mystery or the element of intrigue. Right? He can't do that if there's nothing there and you see he puts monsters up. You're like, oh, we're gonna fight trolls. Let's get our troll kits ready. It's not the same as when you have that air of mystery behind the curtain and he's pulling the strings and you're sitting there at the edge of the table like, what's gonna happen next? What did we do? Did we screw up that trap? Did we alarm the guards? So don't take it as an offense. Just take it as what it is. It's him preparing for you guys to have an adventure. And it's got a really cool piece of artwork along the front. Now, this is a small dungeon screen, okay? They're usually a lot bigger. They're actually the size of a full book. So they're a lot taller. They make custom ones. There's people out there who make wooden ones with hangers and all kinds of magnets and stuff for you to put all your stuff in. I use the old-fashioned cardboard one, but I definitely see the value in the newer style of what people are being creative with, especially with laser etching and the basswood laser cutting stuff. It's actually pretty cool. So then we have a stack of character sheets, and these are blank. So here you go. This is where you create your character. You're going to write down your stats. You're going to write down your equipment, your skills. Your probably your story, your character's quick reference to your character's background. because if I'm not mistaken, I believe the background plays a big part in how your character's alignments and all that other stuff works. I'm not sure, so don't quote me, but you know, when you do your background, it defines your character somewhat. It makes the process of creating a character a little bit easier for you, and you can actually pick from some of their backgrounds to just be like, okay, well, I'll choose that one, and this is how my character is going to behave. Especially for new players, because sometimes I've run games where new players come in, and I'm talking new to role playing, completely new, not new to D&D, but new to role playing in general, and they just don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to act. They feel awkward. They feel, you know, out of place, especially when you have an already established group that brings them in, and your group is in full-on theater mode. You know, they're LARPing, they're emoting, they're voice changing, they're accent changing, you know, and the new player's like, holy shit, what did I step into? You know, so this system supposedly is supposed to be designed to help that new player acclimate to the actual environment of the game a lot easier. So we're gonna, like I said, I'm gonna read it, and my son is 10. You know, and I know they say you should be a little older, but he's a gifted 10, so you know, I believe he can handle the math and everything else like that. That's easy peasy for him. But you know, I'm gonna see how advantageous it is for new players, and I'm gonna do a review after I get done with a couple adventures for them. Like once we do a couple sessions, like after the character building session, and then we play through a couple, you know, like actual games, you know, then I'll do a review on the set and everything that comes, you know, what its value is to me. All right, so here is the last thing in the book, or in the box. It's actually just a you know, an advertisement for the rest of the product, so you can get all the different books and stuff like that. And there's a lot of books right now. There always was for D&D. That's just how it was, except for the originals. And then you have your coupon codes here. You know, you can scan them and get your discount there, which is kind of cool. You know, it's to me, that's just a cool thing that they offer, that, you know, it wasn't a lot of it wasn't available back then. You know what I'm saying? I mean, printing was expensive, things like that, you know. So I think that's pretty cool that, you know, they're offering all this stuff now. Not that it wasn't cool before, we just used our imagination, but you know, the supplementary product support is pretty high for this game. It always has been. Well, has been since, you know, the introduction of the newer systems like 3.5 and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. But yeah, I think honestly, if you're gonna start with Dungeons and Dragons, if you're even a little bit curious, you know, just even a little bit curious. I don't know how that looks for you guys. It's probably backwards. It's probably backwards. You just keep shuffling around. Whatever. OCD. I apologize. But even if you're a little bit curious, man, Amazon, $16. Target, $24. You're looking at $40 right here, man. You can't, you know, one of the books is almost 50, I think, or maybe 30. I mean, I don't know. I gotta look at the price of those books. But you know, you can't go wrong either way. You know, especially if you're just getting into it, and you're not sure if you're gonna commit to it. You know, like you don't want to go and get, yeah, it's like $40. You don't want to buy a bunch of books, buy a bunch of miniatures, buy a bunch of dice and tools and maps and everything, and then play a couple sessions and your friends are like, nah, F this game, it's stupid. And you're sitting there as a GM like, well, I spent all this money, what the F? You know what I'm saying? And what if you don't like it? You're like, it's kind of not for me. And then I spent all this money I can't get back. You know, yeah, you can eBay it or whatever, but you know, it's a waste of time. I would suggest starting here. Don't use any minis, don't use anything, you know, excessive until you cut your teeth here. Then you can say, okay, I do like this game, my friends like this game, let us progress. You could even take these characters from the ones you created and move on to the next adventure. You can find an adventure, you know, that goes past the 6th level or whatever. Whatever it is, hang on. Yeah, so you can go up to level 6 in this box. That's actually a long time, by the way. That isn't, you know, that isn't one session you're going to go up a level each session. That's not how it works. You know, sometimes you may have to go up, depending on your choices. You may not go towards the Goblin Cave. You may want to go to the tavern and then miss the Goblin Cave altogether. You know, so that's levels of experience you might not get. It's all about your choices in this game. So you can use this to up to 6th level. That gives you enough time to decide whether or not this is something for you. And if it is, you move on to the next step. You get the Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Monster Manual. Start there, because that's way more information than this. Guaranteed. You know, and the Dungeon Master's Guide is really useful for GMs. It gives you a lot of insight as to, you know, the type of game you want to run, the genre, the, you know, the pace, the type of players you have to deal with and how to deal with them. It's really good. But start here. Just a matter of fact, start with this. Just start with this one. 16 bucks, Amazon, something like that. Might even be cheaper, I don't know. It's older now, so 2004, so it's old now. You know, this is only a limited time thing at Target, from what I understand. That's why I say, you know, pick it up, because, you know, this is only one adventure. This is one adventure, and then that's it. These characters are pre-generated, they're done. This can carry you on to the next level of gaming, and like I said, it is a better start than buying a bunch of books and a bunch of miniatures and all that stuff, and then you're out a lot of money if everybody's not into it, you know. And I've had games where people, you know, the one thing about being a GM too, just a quick, I'm gonna go over it. I'm gonna actually do a series of videos, I think, just kind of based on my experiences with Dungeons and Dragons and as a player, and then my experiences as a GM, and I'll try to give GM advice. You know, I don't do everything the same way everybody else does, just like, you know, everybody's different. Everybody's got their own opinion. So, I mean, if you're interested, you know, I'll definitely put those videos out, and we'll go over just some of the basic stuff that I do to start my campaigns. I do to set up for my adventures every week, and I do to handle players, you know, the essentials, tools, you know, I go all in when I go into a hobby. So I have miniatures. I have thousands of miniatures that I use for Dungeons and Dragons, and I love maps and I love cartography. So I love using that stuff. That stuff is essential to me, especially to alleviate any player misunderstandings or GM misunderstandings as to location, position. But anyway, we'll go over that in detail in another video. But like I said, these sets here, this is where you start. You want to play Dungeons and Dragons, you think it's an interesting idea. I believe it's a great idea. I believe it's a great game. It's also a great tool for socializing and social interaction and behavior. So give it a shot. The starter set is a great buy on Amazon right now. You can get it super cheap. And if you can, and if you're interested in continuing on your adventures, Essentials Kit is crucial for the GM. Unless after this you decide you are going to commit to this game, then you go straight to the Player's Handbooks and the Dungeon Master's Guide. You get your own DM screen, you get your own dice. You know what I'm saying? You don't need this. I mean, it's a good place to start if you want to start on a budget, but you don't need it. You can do all your other stuff on your own. But anyway, that's my opinion about the starter set and the Essentials Kit from Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I believe, yeah, it says age 12 and up. My son should be able to do it. I believe that it's worthwhile. I'm really excited to learn 5th edition. I'm really excited to go over that, and, you know, hopefully you guys will go on that journey with me, you know, and follow the rest of my series on Dungeons & Dragons. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.